Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers, and this is our guide to the Saucony Endorphin range of running shoes. So the Saucony Endorphin range consists of 3 shoes. The star attraction is the Endorphin Pro carbon plate racing shoe. The kind of do-it-all, fast trainer, versatile option is the Saucony Endorphin Speed, which has a nylon plate. And then the chunky, easy day option is the Saucony Endorphin Shift. When it comes to their key stats, we'll start with the price. The Endorphin Pro is £190 or $200. The Speed is £155 or $160, and the Shift is the cheapest at £130 or $140. The drop of the Pro and the Speed is the same at 8mm, but the Shift has a slightly lower drop. It comes in at 4mm. The weight, as you probably would expect, goes up as you go through the line. Pro weighs in at 229 grams, which is 8 ounces. Speed is just a little bit heavier at 240 grams or 8.5 ounces, and the Shift is big heavier shoe at 314 grams or 11.1 ounces. Note those weights are all in my size, which is a UK 9. When it comes to the design of the shoes, while there are some similarities across the line, each obviously has a fair bit of stuff that's unique to it that kind of demonstrates its main purpose. So we'll start with the Pro, which has a very lightweight mesh upper. It's a racing shoe, it's what you'd expect. You know, it's a comfortable shoe. It's got a little bit of padding around the Achilles area and, you know, tiny bit on the tongue, but not really. It's, you know, it's designed to be lightweight and for racing. The midsole is Saucony's Power Run PB foam. This is a PIBA based foam. It's very lightweight, it's bouncy, it's kind of, you know, top flight foam at the moment. Most of these kind of top shoes are using PIBA foams because of their, you know, real lack of weight, whilst also being nice and bouncy and springy. There is a carbon plate in the midsole. If it's a top racing shoe, it's going to have a carbon plate these days, and it also has Saucony Speed roll technology designed to give you kind of a slight rocker effect, get you onto your forefoot and kind of pushing through your toe off quickly with each stride. The outsole is lacking in rubber, as you'd expect for a racing shoe, but I found that the kind of sections that are here, you know, there's plenty around the sides here and at the front, are durable and do grip surprisingly well in the wet and on kind of sharp corners. There's a bit of exposed foam. Use the shoe quite a lot, and I haven't really seen this being gouged out at all, which is good, but I'd probably avoid gravelly tracks. So a lot of that is the same on the Endorphin Speed. You know, it's got a similar breathable mesh upper. There's a bit more kind of support around the heel, a bit more stability, and a little bit more cushioning. You know, it's designed more for fast training than racing, but it still wants to be a fast shoe. I found that actually the Speed came up slightly wider for me in the same size, and I had to really crank the laces to get a tight fit compared to the Pro and indeed the Shift. But, you know, it's still, you know, a nice roomy, comfortable shoe with a nice breathable upper. In the midsole, you've got that same foam, the Power Run PB foam, Saucony's best foam, lightweight, bouncy, and actually it feels slightly bouncier in the Speed because there's only a nylon plate in there, which isn't quite as stiff and as firm as the carbon plate in the Pro. The idea is that a nylon plate means you can use it more often for more training without always having a very stiff carbon base beneath your foot. Makes it slightly more versatile in terms of the amount of running you can do in it. Outsole is very similar to the Pro though. Again, same kind of rubber pattern, bit of exposed foam, and again, this is a shoe that I've used for coming up to 550k. Really not seeing much wear and tear here at all, not seeing a lot of this foam getting gouged out, so yeah, impressive, and it's really gripped well in the wet for me. Shift, we've got a few changes. We've got kind of a form fit upper here. It fits like a sock almost. It's not the roomiest shoe as a result, but it, you know, does provide a nice comfortable kind of snug fit. There's loads more cushioning around here on the kind of tongue and collar of the shoe. It really is designed, you know, for plush kind of comfort on your easy day runs. And also it's a big stack of cushioning here, but they've really gone for stability here, Saucony, by putting in the massive kind of plastic heel counter that really wraps a long way around the foot. There's also other stability features on the shoe. Again, just the idea is if you're putting a lot of miles into the shoe, then you're not going to have any instability despite the high stack. Also, the foam is different. This is Saucony's Power Run foam, which is a kind of an EVA-based foam. There's a bit of TPU in there as well. It's not the kind of bouncy, lightweight PIBA stuff. That's why the shoe's so much heavier, you know, with this big stack of the stuff underneath your foot. It's firmer. Again, it probably provides a bit more stability as well, not using a lightweight kind of springy foam. And then on the outsole, there's a lot more rubber out here. Again, designed for durability of the shoe, just to keep cruising through a lot of miles in it. It also has the speed roll technology. That's the one thing that's, you know, a feature across the range, and it's a really well designed part of the Saucony Endorphin range, is the way it helps you kind of roll through your kind of foot strike and not get you off your toes quickly. So that really is key with the Endorphin Shift, because otherwise it would be a bit of a heavy, clunky shoe. But actually that roll does help you kind of move smoothly and kind of efficiently, despite the kind of large size of the shoe. So when it comes to the fit of the shoes, something I clearly forgot to film when I was doing the rest of the video, I am true to size in the entire Endorphin range. I found in terms of notes, the Saucony Endorphin Speed, like I say, did seem a bit wider. I had to crank the laces a lot tighter to try and get a tight fit, and the laces are quite long, but there is like a little handy loop you can loop them into so they don't fly around when you're running. The Pro, no notes, was completely true to size, was great, and the Shift is that kind of sock style upper is a bit tighter, I found, but I think you still want to go true to size, otherwise your foot might slide around a bit with that style of upper. So yeah, I'm true to size across the range. I've done a lot of running in the past kind of year in Saucony Endorphin shoes, particularly the Endorphin Speed, which I've racked up kind of about 550k in. It was my favourite shoe of last year. I'm going to talk a lot about it in the next few minutes, but let's start with the Pro, because it was the first shoe I got from the Endorphin range, and it was also the first shoe I'd say that I really thought that another brand had brought out a genuine competitor to Nike in terms of carbon plate super shoes. I absolutely love the Endorphin Pro. I've done lots of different kinds of fast runs, and I've actually done some easy runs in it as well, and it actually is surprisingly comfortable. But obviously fast running is what it's designed for, and it does it in a different way to the Nikes. It's not soft and springy. What you're getting, even though it is a PEVA-based foam and it's reasonably soft underfoot, what you're more getting is a smooth, kind of natural roll through the foot with that speed roll technology, a nice explosive toe off, a little bit of extra stiffness and pop from the plate that you don't get on the Speed in its nylon plate. That does make it the better kind of racy option. And yeah, like I said, it's fantastic. Like, I've done short track sessions in it, I've done long track sessions in it, rattling through kind of 8 times 1k at kind of 310, 320 pace. I've done long hard runs finishing with, you know, 5 miles or half an hour of kind of running around 6-minute mile pace. Just to see how it kind of fares, you know, when you're trying to run a bit quicker at the end of a hard run. And it's always been excellent, I'd have to say. It's definitely a shoe that will shine over half marathon and marathon distance, in my opinion, just because of that kind of the comfort of it, the slight stability benefits you get compared to something like a Nike, and also that, yeah, that speed roll tech is this kind of key feature for me, I think, just because it is so smooth and efficient running in this shoe. Like I say, the Speed, however, is a shoe I've done the most miles in. It's the most versatile shoe in the Endorphin range. You can do everything in this, and I did have a long period of 2020 when I was just doing everything in it. You know, every time I wasn't reviewing a shoe, I just go back to the Speed and just use it for everything, because it is comfortable for easy runs. Maybe if you're doing a huge amount of easy running, you know, you're a really high mileage runner, you might find after a while, well, actually I don't want to keep using this for my easy runs, I'd rather save it for speed sessions. But I do about 80, 90k a week, and I was fine using this for my kind of easy runs. It was comfortable. Obviously it does shine at faster paces, and again, I've put this shoe through everything, you know, I would do. All my kind of all-out track sessions. I've even done a 5k race in it just to see how it really would perform, you know, on that short, sharp, all-out effort, and it's never let me down in any way. It's always been fast enough. It's always been, you know, comfortable, and I've just loved running in it for everything. You know, I do think it's not quite as fast as the Endorphin Pro or, you know, a full carbon racer, but it really isn't far off. And there's, you know, there's a small case of saying that might just be all in my head just because it hasn't got a carbon plate. But the nylon plate is comfortable. In fact, using a nylon plate means that the shoe, I think, is slightly bouncier than the Pro, because you get a bit more of the feel of the foam in it as opposed to the kind of stiffness of the plate, which again does help when you're doing a lot of training miles in it. But yeah, superb, and also really impressively durable for a fast training shoe. Like I say, done a lot of miles, not much wear and tear, no problems with grip. Yeah, love this shoe. You can use it for anything, pretty much. In contrast, the Shift isn't a very versatile shoe. You know, it's good at what it's designed to do, which is cruise through easy miles. I've done about 60k in this shoe. It's less than the other ones because I've only got it this year. And when I did take it out for kind of a 15-mile cruiser run, it was lovely. Yeah, it rolls through nicely. It is big and it is heavy, but you don't feel that when you're running with it at your kind of easy pace. It does roll through quite smoothly. It doesn't, you know, feel in any way cumbersome. Actually, what it was especially good for was I did 10 hilly miles in it the other week, and all of the kind of speed roll shoes, all of the Endorphin shoes are great going down hills with that kind of roller effect. But the Shift actually was even more marked how great it was rolling down hills. I actually feel quite quick in it because, you know, it's a big stack of foam, bit of a roll. You do get on a roll actually. However, today I kind of took it out for kind of an easy to steady progression hour, finishing again with kind of probably the last 5-6k around 345 per k pace. And it's not great for that. It does then start to feel cumbersome. It does feel heavy. You don't feel nimble. You don't feel like you're getting a lot of pop off the toe. It's just not designed for fast running, which is fine. It's an easy day shoe, and when you're using it for easy day runs, it is very good. But yeah, it's the least versatile shoe. Probably even in the range, I'd actually say the Pro might be even more versatile, but it's really the Speed is the one that's the kind of do-it-all option if you are just looking for one. So which one should you get from the Endorphin range? Which shoes should you be looking at buying? So I'm going to kind of do this as a 1, 2, 3. If you're just looking to buy one shoe from the Endorphin range, it's definitely the Endorphin Speed for me. It's the most versatile. It's the best do-it-all trainer out there from any brand, I'd say. If you're a one-shoe runner who does want to perform, at speed on race day, there's nothing better than the Endorphin Speed, in my opinion, out there. And it's pretty, it is durable in my experience, and it is comfortable for easy runs. And yeah, it does have that performance side to it as well, where you're not going to be let down when you are doing fast running. So it's a very clear pick if you're only buying one shoe from the range. If you're only buying one running shoe, full stop, from any brand, the Saucony Endorphin Speed is the one I would pick. Comes to two shoes, if you are looking to kind of beef up your rotation with a bit of endorphin, then it really depends on the kind of runner you are, I guess. So if you're someone who loves the feel of the Speed but does want to save it, and you are a real high mileage runner, like I say, I only do kind of 80-90k a week. It's a decent amount, but I don't always feel the need that I really need a recovery shoe today. I'm perfectly happy running in something like the Speed, for all my kind of easier mileage. However, if you are racking up more miles or really value just the feel of a real easy shoe, then the Shift is probably the next one to get, because you can pair it with the Speed quite comfortably as your race day and fast training shoe, leaving everything else to the Shift, which does lack versatility in terms of how it performs at fast stuff, but just using it for easy stuff, it will serve you very well. However, if I was buying two shoes from the range, I'd get the Speed and then I'd buy the Pro. Like I say, not a massive mileage runner, I really value all that race day performance, and the Pro is the pinnacle of the range for a reason. It's a little bit stiffer, a little bit faster, a little bit more pop than you get from the Speed. It's not a huge amount, and obviously it would be a big investment to spend £190 on this, having already spent £155 on a very good fast shoe like the Speed. But that's the way I'd go. I'm someone who's really concentrating on speed. I want to run a sub 2:30 marathon this year, and if I was going to buy one racing shoe from the Endorphin line to do it, it would be the Pro. Of course, you can also buy all three, and that would serve you beautifully as a really nice, well-designed rotation. If you're in terms of swapping these shoes out for options from other brands, like I say, I do think the Speed is the best do-it-all or fast trainer out there, so that would always stay in my rotation. In terms of easy days, I like the Shift, but I don't like it as much as some other options. I do think you can have a bit more fun if you run in something like the Asics Nova Blast, a bit more pop there. The Nike Infinity Run, I think, is very similar to this. It's stable and kind of smooth, but not particularly lively, but it does feel a bit lighter to me. So the Infinity Run 2 would probably be my pick if you're just looking for that kind of stability. Or if you just want all-out comfort, the Brooks Glycerin, I think, is a more comfortable shoe. So if you are looking for a pure easy day shoe, there's a lot of good options out there you could swap for the Shift. And in terms of race day performance, as much as I love the Pro, I think I still have the Nikes just slightly ahead of it. So if it comes to my A races next year, I will be using the Alphafly. And if I, in my dream rotation, which we did in our best running shoes video, well, not my dream rotation, my actual rotation, I would pair the Alphafly with the Speed as kind of my main two shoes. Alphafly for races, Speed for kind of everything else. And if I did sub in an easy day shoe, then there's a lot of really good options out there. So yeah, like I say, of the three shoes in the Endorphin range, the Speed is the standout, like, best running shoe of 2020, and the Pro's a superb racer. The Shift's kind of, a really solid daily trainer, but it's not as exciting. Buy the Speed. That's it, guys. That is our look at the Saucony Endorphin range. Do you own any of these shoes? Are you a big fan of them? What would your comments be on them? Please let us know. Write down below. We'll try and get back to you. And yeah, please like, subscribe, ring the little bell so you get notified when we drop a video. We just also launched our full review, multi-test review of the Endorphin Shift, so you can see mine and Tom's take on it in a bit more detail there. Do go check out the 500km review of the Speed, where I just gush over it for like 10-15 minutes. And we've also got a few reviews of the Endorphin Pro, and then some videos comparing it to shoes like the Alphafly directly, and indeed one comparing it to the Speed directly. If you want more Endorphin content, it's out there, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.